and welcome to our Build for Better Code Challenge live chat with your judges. We have four of the judges right here on the stream. We're waiting for one more, but once David comes on, we'll bring him on. So we've decided last week, if you have seen the live stream, the webinar we've had, it was the DevNet 10-year anniversary webinar. We've had Shannon McFarland, our VP over there. We've had Denise Lee, VP of Engineering Sustainability. We've had Kellyanne Fitzpatrick from Redmond. We've had lots of questions, celebration. And at the same time, we announced the Build for Better Coding Challenge. So that's why we are here today, to answer all your questions about this challenge. Is there an echo? Do you guys hear an echo, or was like everything good?
Not me.
All right. So hopefully you can see us, you can hear us all. Bring your questions. We'll start first of all just with a quick introduction of all the judges, so that you know who's gonna be judging your code first. So we'll start with Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise Kwan. I am a developer advocate at DevNet. And before joining DevNet, I was an enterprise software engineer for over 10 years, developing code for for the contact center Cisco products. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to judge for this coding challenge, and I'm excited to see what you have to bring.
Cool. Happy to have you here, Denise. Erica?
Hey, my name's Erica Dietrich. I am also a developer advocate on the security side of the house. And I guess I've been in tech now for about 5 or 6 years and worked in Cisco Tech on the firepower team. I've been in sales engineering. I've done backend for startups, and just glad to be here and working with you all and doing this code challenge today.
Cool. So Erica, she's newer on the team, let's say. I still haven't met her in person. I'm looking forward to meeting her, hopefully at Cisco Live in Vegas. Erica, you gonna be there?
That's the plan. So to everyone else, I'm pretty new at Cisco, so I'm kind of a last minute ad. So details pending, but yeah, that's the hope.
Cool. All right. Next, Alexi.
Yeah, hi, my name is Alexei. I'm developer advocate at Cisco, also Code Exchange platform lead. I have background in app infra development. Yeah, that's it.
And what technologies do you cover as a developer advocate, Alexi?
Yeah, security, Cisco security stack mostly. Yeah.
Security stack. Cool. All right, and we have also David. David, I'm gonna put the spotlight on you. We're at introductions. You want to tell people what you do at Cisco? Or you're still trying to figure out the setup?
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, I just jumped from the Cisco bit. You guys didn't join the Cisco bit?
We did, but this was more important, so we decided to join this one.
So we need to introduce ourselves or what?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I've been with Cisco forever, I guess. It's almost half of my life. I think it's my 29th years here at Cisco.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's I don't know anybody who's been here longer than me. So yeah, I mean, I've been with Cisco so long. It's probably one of the greatest company to work for. I was fortunate enough to have worked with so many different group, different technology, different people. I got to learn so many things. It's to be honest, I mean, this is probably one of the best company to work for, and I've never been bored or I mean, while working at Cisco, I mean, It just challenge after challenge after challenge, and the company let you grow, and to 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 try different things, and you know to take on challenges, as you go along. So I mean, there, I don't know if many companies let you do that. So it's my privilege to be able to join you guys on this challenge. So I'm excited. I
It's a pleasure to have you, David. And what's your current role at Cisco? What do you do
So
these
I'm
days?
I'm a community. I guess I'm not sure what my title, but I work with Jeff Bull, and we uh, we are like community managers. So we work to bring in people into our community, to connect with people, and to enhance their experience with Cisco communities, basically. So, but I've started my AI um, journey last year, when I started to look into. I got my hand into some of the NVIDIA boards, and play with some of the machine learning, and do a lot of the uh, modeling, different modeling, and it's pretty exciting. So hopefully in the future we'll have the chance to showcase some of our machine learning stuff at
Are,
Cisco Live and stuff. Yeah,
are you going to GTC right after this?
yeah.
And
All
David,
right, all
after
right. So
your
that was a
yeah,
long
sorry.
introduction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
David,
All
you
right.
after
see,
your intro,
you see
I'm
that
feeling
my toy. Hold on, let me show you my toy.
like after David's intro,
This
I'm
is
on
this
Cisco
is my
recruiting event.
newest toy. It has the NVIDIA board here, that it can do a lot of, and then the camera, and so you can do some serious machine learning with this machine. So I'm excited to maybe
Is that for your
show off.
Cisco Live setup?
Now this is a new one. Um, we don't have budget for this yet, so hopefully, if we have budget, and so we can get a bigger, because this is a larger IoT device, so you need a more workspace for it to run around, and to do a lot of uh, uh, image recognitions, and there's autonomous drivings and all that stuff. Very cool stuff.
Cool, really cool stuff, David. All right, so I'll go last. Adrian Eliasio, I'm developer advocate for enterprise networking here at Cisco. You folks might know me from the Net Group Simplifying Network Automation live stream that I'm doing tomorrow. Actually, we have another session coming up. So I'm trying to do these every Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific. Um, so yes, let's go and talk a bit about this challenge. So for the use cases, right? We came up with a bunch of use cases. What does that mean, right? Do people have to do those specific use cases as part of the challenge, or are they mandatory? Should they be related to what they're doing? And what do you guys think?
I think those use cases are just to start sparking your interest. Try to think of something super creative. The more creative it is, then the more cool factor you're going to get. And so for me, it was like, what does this mean? Build for the better. These use cases allowed me to kind of get to figure out what are we talking about, right? What types of use cases are we talking about?
Right, because the topic this year, by the way, is AI and sustainability. Right, so we'll see how it goes this year. This challenge might happen again. We don't know. Let's see how it goes. But this year, the topic is AI and sustainability. So we kind of tried to give you all, a bit of ideas, use cases around sustainability, and AI specifically. So don't feel like you have to cover those 6 use cases in there. It's just, inspiration for you folks as you start working on this challenge.
Would public transportation like BART or be considered sustainability?
If it has a sustainable angle to it, sure, yes.
Yeah, okay. Because
Transportation,
I can see a lot
right?
of AI can be, bring into some of these use cases. So
Right. And the use cases we had there was basically like 3 categories that we talked about. Green coding, right? So green coding is something that folks are talking these days quite a bit. Any thoughts on green coding from you folks here? Who's coding with like a green coding in the back of their heads, like if I'm writing this function, it's gonna consume a bit less power. It's gonna have a bit that
yeah,
look.
honestly, when I code, I always think of a way to make it faster, run faster, and more efficient in my coding. So I don't know if
Yeah,
that
David.
considered green coding, or maybe it's used more power in the CPU.
Yeah, but you've been doing this for 29 years at least. So back then you had 1 kilobit of memory back in the old days. So you kind of had to make it work on very limited hardware. These days,
we
folks
used
use
to
Wait,
like
have
wasn't it
like
punch
unlimited.
cards?
yeah. I used to do punch card, and then you have a stack of card, and then you print it into the lab, and people they have to run through. So that's I don't know if that's green coding, right? Because you make
No,
one character
No.
it's not.
wrong, and then the
All of
whole
that
program is
paper.
wrong.
Exactly. You waste so
And then
much
you have
paper
to
with those.
go run through. Yeah, I use a lot of
That's definitely not green coding.
yeah.
Yeah, so green coding would be one of them, right? Any ideas you folks have around green coding, how you can build AI bots, for example, that can suggest programming languages based on a use case, which is more sustainable, or an AI bot that takes your source code, looks over it, right, and tells you, hey, these are some ways to optimize your code to make it more energy efficient. Things like that could be.
I don't think we can give them more hints, Adrian. I think we'll make it too easy.
Well, that's the ones we have as use cases, right? So I mean, you can have a look at those, but
Oh, you're right. There are 2 of them there. I remember the first one. Yeah.
they're not going to be super original because we already told them to you. So
Yeah, part of it is
Well, I was going to say
originality.
too. Yeah, so I mean, at least for me, from a development perspective, I think that the reason this challenge is so cool is that I don't think about sustainability day to day, right? It's talking about doing things in new ways, kind of like green business practices, right? Green coding. It's something that we have to make a concerted effort to care about. So
But
cool.
I mean,
to me, I think
that's all I had to say on that.
when we talk about green coding, does that mean that if you do multi-threading, on multiple CPU, would that consider not green coding? Because you're using a lot of
David,
CPU cycles for the same task.
Right, but you're finishing it earlier, right?
Oh, okay.
Instead of taking,
but
minutes or hours.
It depends. So that's why the whole thing is a big factor, right? So sometimes just because it's faster, if you're going to be needing to use a high-powered system, maybe that's going to actually consume more. You don't know. So that's our whole thing, right?
So that's the whole AI bot that I was talking about, right? You give it the code and it's going to suggest, oh, in this case, if you do it in a multi-threaded fashion,
because the code
it's going to be more efficient.
Can measure the the amount of energy that the CPU and the GPU uses. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, from this point of view, it's also important where do you deploy your application. So you need to choose related cloud provider or on-prem, and also take in account how they consume and use energy for
Yeah,
this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Sustainability conscious cloud providers, if they exist, they better exist soon
Yeah.
because
So it sounds simple, but it's not that simple, right?
right. Well, that's why it's a challenge, David.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Wow.
all right. Smart buildings, right? Smart buildings is another one. Buildings can be made much more energy efficient, right? For sure. They have the lead certification for buildings, right? If depending on how efficient they are and how sustainable. So, you know, and these buildings these days, I mean, they have all networking gear, right? Switches everywhere and access points for wireless coverage. So that would be, how do you improve power utilization, for example, on those and that infrastructure that's built within all these buildings, right? Turn down switches or ports when they're not used, turn them on when somebody needs them. So those would be some ideas on the smart buildings. And then energy consumption, same thing, right? How to utilize less power, wireless video cameras. um, and the nice thing with this is that we have some sandboxes for you. So if you don't have access to hardware, there's sandboxes on developer.cisco.com/sandbox. Go and check them out. Catalyst, 9Ks. We have a Meraki sandbox. What do you folks think about the smart buildings and power consumption optimizations?
I would be curious how much campus, consumes, because we don't really think about that until it it becomes your power bill. I recently got
Mhm.
solar panels, and so now it's like even though you have solar panels, you still want to use less because now you want to use as much as your solar as possible. So I'm always like, I had always been make sure the lights are off, and I had always considered myself a tree hugger because I did go to Berkeley, and
Wow,
so
clearly.
and so I was just like, but now it's like, yeah, even though I have solar, how am I going to use less, because then I don't have to pay PG&E an arm and a leg, because I mean, Adrian, you live over here, you know how much electricity is,
I
but
know.
it'll be, it's just something that we don't think about. We put more devices into our houses. We have a lot of people have like Alexa, and then their door keypad is now IoT. Every IoT thing that we put in, we're technically consuming energy, even though it's not being used. And so I don't think anybody really thinks about that. It's like the cool factor. But then, did you know
Mhm.
that all your IoT devices is causing you to consume more energy? How do we produce that energy?
And how do you optimize that consumption, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Cool. So that's, yes, part of our challenge. Some ideas around that. Like David was saying, transportation, whatever sustainability idea you have. And the more original it is, the better. So that brings us into our next topic of discussion, which is the criteria for judging. So, how do we judge these submissions and how do we decide which ones will win? I have the first criteria as originality, right? So you have to come up with an original idea. It would have to kind of be something special. That the more original it is, the more points it's gonna give you. All right.
And we can tell if it's the idea is generated by an AI bot by ChatGPT.
I mean, if it's a good idea and somebody gets to implement it anyway, right? If you
But
use
is that
the
considered original?
which
That's
one,
up to you
David?
to decide.
Okay.
Oh, you're the judge, yeah.
Yeah, that's up to you to decide when you're judging. That's why there's 5 of us.
Okay.
So originality, right? It's a big one main criteria. It would have to be, of course, relevant to our topic. So AI and sustainability would have to fall within this bucket of ideas. Third would be, of course, quality of code, right? So we're also going to look at it's built for better, right? So your code will be reviewed, looked over by all 5 of us, and the cleaner the code, the more green it is, the higher you will score, right? So the higher chance that you will win.
Maybe that would be a good thing to define too, is what do we consider to be clean or quality code in this context?
I think
Well,
that
I mean,
code on C using C language should be considered as more cleaner than Python
Okay.
or Java.
There's by one judge's vote.
all right, so we
There
already
you go.
have a bit of a
Now, I would think
preference
Rust
here
would be
for
a
Alexa.
better candidate, right? Not C.
Rust is yours, David. Okay, so we have C, Rust. Okay, so that's just Alexa
Well,
and David,
or
right? All 5 of us will
yeah,
score
Rust
this.
or Python would be good. I mean, Python is still my favorite everyday language.
You
Yeah,
didn't
but
like
is
your
it?
punch cards?
Pardon?
I said you didn't like using your punch cards?
Yeah. I have Python on all the
On
card.
that car too, on that model car over there.
Yeah,
Does it
they
have
all
Python?
run in fast API, taking command from outside. It's all Python, man.
All right, so those would be the 3 main criteria, right? Originality, how relevant it is, the quality of code, and then as a submission criteria, kind of like a requirement, we would want you to have a video recording of like a demo of your code, right? That you could have it in your GitHub repo where you submit your code, but like it doesn't have to be like a 2-hour type of video. No, 2, 3, 5 minutes. Hey, this is the application. This is how I'm starting it. This is how I'm running it. This is what it's supposed to be doing. Show us that it's actually running.
I think that video is probably a great place too to kind of make a case for your originality, because some of y'all might have some of the same inspiration, but it's about how do you tell it and how did you decide to solve it, and you can vouch for yourself there.
It's like
It's
a
like
sell
a
pitch.
Shark Tank. Yeah, a Shark Tank pitch. Sell it to us.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your
We
chance.
want to be wowed.
I think
That's
we have
another
a
chance.
question from our audience. How do you measure the?
Yeah, Daniel. Hey Daniel, good to see you again. I see Daniel on all our streams. I've met him also in person in Amsterdam. So Daniel, I think one key are the numbers. Yes. So for especially on energy consumption, smart buildings, right? You need to have a baseline. It's like, okay, this is how much we're consuming today. We want to have it, 10, 20% less within next month or next year, or you have to kind of have a baseline. True. Right. So that's clearly important. Get your baseline, know how much you're consuming before you can optimize it, of course. All right. So we covered the judging criteria. Any other thoughts from anyone on the judging criteria? I think we kind of have it all.
Yeah, I think the video should be short. I mean, 5 minutes maximum.
Yes. Like we said, I don't want to have like a hours of video of.
I think 5
keep
minutes
it short.
is reasonable.
And like Erica was saying, it's a chance for you to wow us. So it's another tool in your tool set to make your case to win this challenge.
Yeah, comments in code also welcome.
Yes, comment, right? That's quality of code. You have to have it commented, right? Don't just have just the code without any comments. That's gonna be, points lost, detracted
Yeah. So basically, we're not promoting any particular language or coding or styling standard, but it has to be styled reasonably and easy to read, because we're going to have a lot of submissions. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So you can't make it hard for us.
And we will look at the code. So we
Yes,
we
we will.
will
We do
need
our
to
jobs.
be able to follow along with the code.
Yeah, we all love to read codes, other people code. So
Well, for this challenge, we do. All right. So then submission requirements, right? What do people need? So you would have to have this in a public GitHub repo, your submission. So it has to be publicly available. It would have to be licensed under an OSI approved open source license or the Cisco sample code license. And once you submit this, Alexi was saying that he's part of the code exchange team. He will look at the submission more closely, just to kind of allow it within code exchange. Making sure you have a README also is important, critically important. README explain what your application code is supposed to be doing. Make it clear, the README. Make sure you have the license. Make sure it's in the public GitHub repo, and then follow the steps. Basically, you need to have a DevNet account. If you don't have one, you can create a free one. And all these steps are actually also explained in developer.cisco.com/build-for-better. So you see all these requirements. You will see also the criteria for judging updated within probably this week.
does it have to have the installation instruction on how to run it, or all the dependencies, all that stuff?
Yes, as part of the README, a good
So it has to
README
be
is going to
complete.
have that,
Okay.
right? Yes. Yes.
So it has to be reproducible by us. If we take that
Yes.
code, we run it on our environment, and it should work, right?
Yeah, we also provide link to template with good README where all these chapters in README highlighted. So yeah, how to deploy, how to install packages, usage, etc.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all part of a good README, right? What the application, what this is supposed to be doing, and then how to install it, what are the dependencies, how to run it, what parameters you need to pass in, how to troubleshoot, where to send bugs, or where to escalate if you have any issues running it. So all of that is just part of a good README. And Alex, you were saying that we have a template, an example for that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's also.
What about, I know you mentioned sandboxes. What about the use of Cisco technologies for this? How does that weigh into the competition?
That's a great point, Erica. Right? Yeah. So, I mean, who wants to answer this? I've talked too much.
I think we said that it's not required that you use Cisco technology, but it's encouraged, right? We encourage people to use, because we do have a lot of great technology, so I think it is to your advantage to use Cisco, to utilize Cisco technology, but it is not required for this challenge, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
David. It's if your use case requires that you get metrics from a Catalyst 9000 or a Meraki access point or switch for power consumption, or smart buildings, and you need to use that type of technology, streaming telemetry, whatever you're using to get that data, then sure, right? Go ahead, use our sandboxes, use Cisco or the which one was it? The Cisco. They've changed the name for the observability platform, Cisco Observability Platform.
Thousand
Right.
Eyes.
So if Thousand Eyes, also, if you want to integrate as part of your solution, then yes, use Cisco Tech, but it's not a mandatory requirement for this challenge.
Yeah, that's something I'll say too, is that I think there's a lot of reasons that you might do this challenge, but the chance to play around with Cisco technologies, I think, is one of them. You know, a lot of people are not familiar with our sandbox environments or don't have access to these products. And it's just kind of a cool way to get your foot in there and to really understand these technologies. Especially as a student, you know, or somebody coming out of college. I mean, like, how cool is that to say that you've already worked with a Cisco product?
Yeah.
And remember, the sandbox is free to use, so it's not going to cost you anything.
I can only.
Yeah, exactly. So, like,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry,
Yeah,
Alexi,
no,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. You first.
I was just gonna say, like, just yesterday, I was opening up the Firepower Management Center sandbox, and it was literally, you know, hey, I want to use it now. Took like 5 minutes to provision, and the instructions were super easy. So, yeah, very, very easy to use.
Yeah, I can only ask participant following sustainability and not book for nearest 5-day, book like just for 5 hours. Then if you need more, you can extend sandbox.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point.
True.
Why all would you do this challenge if you weren't judging? And I know you guys are already familiar with Cisco technology. So what else would be appealing to this challenge for y'all?
I think it's like a good excuse to because you know, like we're all consumed with like our everyday lives, right? Like, and sometimes you need that motivation to do something different. And again, as I said, I'm somewhat of a tree hugger, so sustainability is like a thing for me, and so it would just be something fun to just in some ways feel good about yourself, feel good that you've kind of done something to try to help for the better, and probably find out some interesting information, because again, I don't know how much I use when I'm running a certain thing versus another. Like, it might come up with a lot of interesting facts.
Too bad you cannot submit because you're a judge on this one, Denise.
Yeah, I think
I create a clone of myself and just kidding.
Get your daughter into this. I mean, come on, she can.
Hey, can we do the drag and drop ones like for the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it
That-
No
works,
code,
that's
no
allowed?
code, low code.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a session tomorrow, live stream with Oksana. We're gonna do no code.
Don't lower the bar for them.
XDR, right?
They're held to the same standards.
so
Just
do
drag
we
and
have
drop.
an
10 years
age
old.
limit for the competition?
The age limit, check out the legal documentation that comes with this. So we do have a terms and conditions for this, by the way. That's a good point, David. Right? So make sure you read that and you follow all the requirements in there, age restrictions, right? It's very important. It's a good point, David. But check out the terms and conditions and the legal document associated with this at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's also important to mention the once you submit your project to GitHub, you cannot make changes to it except for fixing minor changes to fix bugs and things like that. But we notice once you submit it, we will jot down the date and time that of your submission, and then any major changes after that will automatically disqualify, right?
Why?
Is that
I
don't know. I don't.
No.
I mean, changes to fix bugs, but not to add ideas to the. I don't know.
So that brings us then to the deadline discussion, right?
Right.
Until when can you develop your application, which is until
so you can make changes
April
until
22nd.
the deadline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Even.
I mean,
okay. All right.
Yeah, it's how open source works. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Git works. I mean, you submit it once and then you keep adding changes. Yeah.
Okay. So there's no
until the deadline
incentive for them to submit early.
Not really. I mean,
not really.
Yeah, not really.
Well, it's better for us because the earlier they submit it, the sooner we can look at it. So in case we have a lot of submission, we have time to spread out,
No,
reviewing
we'll
the code.
Well, just go block off your calendar that from the end of the 22nd, so the 23rd, you're going to be reading code until we announce on, did I see that it was May 1st?
Yeah.
May 1st? Okay.
So just block off your calendar. You're going to be reading lots of code.
Yes. So deadline for submissions, right? April 22nd, which is Earth Day, which is cool. And then April 22nd, we also start a sustainability week. So we already have some webinars, workshops in the pipeline, but that's a different discussion. Deadline April 22nd, I believe is 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, if you want to be super specific. So that's the deadline.
Sounds right.
All right. So
I think another point I like to bring up, I see a lot of
Yeah.
cool projects that people do with using the Jupyter notebooks. So you can use, I think is we shouldn't limit to, to just program and see and all that, but you can do a lot of data analysis with Jupyter notebooks, and then produce results, and you can do all the machine learnings, all that stuff. I think a lot of the data analysis from Jupyter Notebook would be a great idea for sustainability. You can feed a lot of data from public domain. There's huge amount of data out there that you can feed into the Jupyter Notebook, do a lot of machine learnings, and produce results and do your analysis inside the Jupyter Notebooks. So that's another idea for this challenge, I think.
Except you
Right.
just gave it, so is that going to be original now?
Well, no,
Disqualified.
the framework of doing that, it's not original, but the idea that they're going to be doing
Yeah.
will be original, right? Okay.
It's a good point.
Okay, so going back to your question, Erica, on why would you do this, right? Denise, because you went to Berkeley. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
I did not know
okay.
this whole Berkeley
Apparently,
thing.
everything I said, that's what it comes down to, because I went to Berkeley.
Then there's also $500, right, in Cisco store credit that you get. That's also, somebody last week on the live stream was saying there's a lot of socks. There's a lot of socks. It's gonna get you $500 from the Cisco store.
There's DevNet swag at the Cisco store too.
Yes.
I think the shirt you're wearing is on the Cisco store, isn't it?
I don't know. I have them for many years now. These are like still my favorite shirt. It's my favorite DevNet shirt still. I love it. But yes, and I've seen the Cisco store has been kind of revamped. I've seen it in the news.
I
Actually,
think
I didn't.
Shannon mentioned
Really?
Basic. I don't
Yeah.
know of any library for the AI library for Basic. Is there?
First course. No, so Shannon is saying that he will take all the code written in BASIC. So for him, only BASIC matters. That's not the case. That's not the case for us, though. So, all right. So Cisco Store, right, has been going through a revamp. I've seen it in the news. Actually, I don't know if you folks have seen it yet. There seems to be like new products in the store, so I'm curious.
It went all the
Well,
way to the
I am
news.
close to the.
It made it to the news. Yeah, like
Trying to put some positive news into the world. Cisco store.
What you can buy now in Cisco store?
DevNet
Adrian's
gear.
book.
I was just gonna say though.
Adrian's book.
Buy book. Yeah, you can buy books.
You could get Adrian's book at the Cisco
Laptop
store.
stickers.
Stickers, DevNet gear, coffee cup, like coffee mugs. I mean, bunch of stuff.
Yeah, the Yeti.
Yeah, we've got high quality like thermoses. The stickers are pretty bomb. Like that's half of my laptop right now. And I think every jacket or sweatshirt I've gotten from Cisco has been like,
Yeah, pretty high
that's my
quality.
sweatshirt. Yeah.
What else are you getting? You're getting a mentorship session with DevNet experts, right? So it's also part of the winning the prize of the challenge.
So
Uh,
if they have a team of 5 people, they have to split the 500, or each of them will.
yeah, they have to split. It's
You're gonna fight for it.
per
Per team.
submission, so per team. If there's a team of one, then that's it. If there's a team of five, then
They get $10. Or actually,
So
no,
there's no
I just
limit
killed
of how many people in a team, or because usually
I
in a
mean,
hackathon you have a limit of how many people in a team, right?
right, but hackathons usually happen, over a weekend or over a couple of days. It's not over a month. But I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Is there a limit? I would say, just
5
don't make
people.
it, like hundreds of people. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
That would defeat the purpose. I mean, you win
Yeah,
$500. If you make it a
yes.
lot, then
You'd
you're not
have to
going to get.
split. You'd have to
I think
split
a
the
lot of
winnings.
people would not do it because of the 500. I think it's the bragging right. I would, it's
That's
it's.
another one.
I mean, when I was doing it back in the days, I mean, the bragging right is probably the most important.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
put it on
win.
your resume, on your LinkedIn. It's worth a
Yeah,
lot more than $500.
yeah, definitely there is. So that's recognition.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You will be the first team or the first person winning the Build for Better coding challenge from Cisco DevNet, right? So that's definitely bragging rights right there. The initial first challenge that we've had. So
Do we
yeah,
have like
that-
the trophy for create design for this, or just
um,
a digital
no, we probably
NFT?
can
Or,
create. We probably can create like a digital trophy
okay.
for
A
them.
digital NFT of a trophy.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Uh,
code one up, David?
I thought many teams will be consist of two, like participant plus GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, sounds about right.
uh,
Well, honestly, too, even just the fact that we're encouraging folks to use AI in this challenge, I feel like, we're all talking about AI, generative AI all the time, and it's in the news and media, but how many people are actually hands-on using it right now? And so this is really your push, I think, to say, hey, Cisco's giving me the resources and the encouragement, and there's $500 worth of stocks on the line. Like, I want to learn this technology, right? So I think that's another huge benefit. AI is going to be useful to all industries, all occupations. Might as well get your hands on it.
yep, and this is a perfect chance to do that.
Yep.
Quan Nguyen, we have another Nguyen. Oh, David, you're from
Yeah,
Vietnam.
I'm from Vietnam. I came to this country when I was a teenager. And now I'm an old man.
Oh, David, no.
You're only 29, you said, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I'm not a teenager
29
anymore.
years at Cisco, baby genius.
My grandkid may be a teenager.
All right, folks. So we got the reasons to participate, right? You get to work on cool technology, you get some prize money, you get recognition, you get bragging rights, right? You get mentorship from DevNet experts. So lots of reasons to submit and be part of this challenge.
I think because we just announced for this challenge recently, so having this, are we going to have similar call later on? Because I think there would be more people participate in the live stream if we do it a little bit later on, right? Maybe like a week from now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if a week from now, but we have set up on that Build for Better webpage, right? You can find
The
a
WebEx
link,
space, yeah.
a WebEx space. Exactly, David. So there's a WebEx space. if you have any other questions, right? You saw this recording, or after this, you thinking something crosses your mind, you have questions, drop your question in that WebEx space. We're monitoring those that specific space. And if there's a lot of questions, we might set up another session like this just to address those questions over there so that everybody knows. But for now, we're not gonna have another one next week. So
No,
I
just
know
just a
I know
suggestion.
I know you folks are
It's too
enjoying
much
this,
fun
but
doing this. So
yeah.
just saying.
Our WebEx space. Okay, so we have a link over there also for the web EURL.io link in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we figured out the reasons. We have the deadline. We have kind of the judging criteria we've talked about, right? We've talked about Cisco Tech, mandatory or not. We've talked about the use cases that we kind of suggested to you, but don't feel like you have to do those. What else we have to talk about? Let's see, any question?
What about advice?
Advice.
Like for people who have never done a code challenge or hackathon, like especially being Cisco, we kind of get people from all over, people who maybe have never done this before.
Well, that's what WebEx space for, right? Just fill your question and we'll answer it.
And Erica, that's actually brings another question to my mind. Who can participate into this challenge? Like, can Cisco employees participate into it? And yes, they can compared to other ones. The only ones that I think cannot participate is the 5 of us.
Yes.
I think
no
we're
way.
But
the
my brother can participate, right?
Your
My kids.
brother, the niece's daughter, right? Kid, yes. Family, yes.
Dogs, cats.
Yes, as long as the code is quality code and it's original. If your cat can code or your dog, then have them submit it for sure.
Maybe somebody's trained their pet how to use the chat GPT, and then they're going to be able to code something and submit something. So,
or you could be on a team with your cat,
You have
right?
high hopes for people, Denise.
Your team is you and your pet, right? It could be that, and then you share the prize money with your pet.
there might be Cisco swag for pets, which I wouldn't be surprised if there is at the store.
All right. What else we had? So advice, right? Going back to Erica's question, advice. What advice do you folks have for people? I think we kind of touched throughout the discussion on, hey, just get started. It's a good point of, if you haven't worked with AI yet, this is a good incentive to kind of jump in. You win some, you learn a bit of AI. And by the way, if you're just getting started with AI, I have a couple of sessions on the live stream, since, shameless plug again. You people need to check this live stream, okay?
Wow.
It's really that good. I have had John Capobianco, I don't know if you folks know, as a guest on the live stream. So we talked about AI and specifically LangChain on the last one. On kind of getting started with AI from a network engineer perspective, like talking with PCAP captures, right? So you load up a PCAP file, which is a capture of traffic, and you can chat with that, or you can build a graph out of routing tables, right? Or you load up a routing table into your AI and ask it, right? You can converse with that AI. So we've had these sessions with John. They're recorded.
It's on our DevNet YouTube channel.
It is, and on LinkedIn too. Yep. What are the advice? Who else wants to give advice to folks?
I want to give people advice.
Go ahead, Erica.
I ask my own question for my own self to answer.
There you go.
So my biggest piece of advice would be to start early, because even though you have a month I'm assuming that you do other things in life, and that time is going to fly by.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're probably learning something new in this particular code challenge. So you're going to need to give yourself time to become familiar with large language models, or to become familiar with Cisco documentation on the product you want to use. So, you know, we were talking earlier about how everyone's going to submit at the last minute, but it's because you don't know how long it's going to take you. So that's my advice.
What I was going to say is, some people might be scared thinking like, oh, what if it's not sustainability, or what if it's not this, or it's my first time, I've never done it before. I mean, you can get a lot of the questions probably answered through the WebEx at the WebEx channel, but give it a shot. You have to start somewhere. So don't get scared. Don't be scared to just try, because if you don't, you're always going to be in that position. Every single challenge that you're going to find interesting, if you don't go and put your foot in the door, then you're never going to get in.
Yeah, and you got nothing to lose but to gain the knowledge yourself, right? I mean, you may not win the competition, but you
Or
one
you
thing
might.
for sure
Right.
that you will learn a lot of thing about sustainability and AI. Right?
And
Yeah,
go ahead, Alex.
yes. Yeah, sorry. I think a big problem should be bring to the finish line. And I can only suggest don't give up and upload your code even if you think it's not perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
There are
And
three.
also,
There are three up to three prizes, right? So you may not be first, but you could be third or second, right?
yep. And compared to like your typical hackathon, right, that just happens over a couple of days or a
Yeah, a
weekend
lot of
type of thing.
lost sleep,
This
but
lost sleep, with this one, you can get your sleep,
yeah,
you
you
can think
can
about it, you can code. You have a bit more than a month, right? So
even code
get
in your
started
sleep.
with get started with it early, but keep in mind that you have a bit of time, so you can come up with something really cool. It's not something that you have to lose sleep over, or be somewhere specific, specific location for that hackathon. You can work at home or wherever you want. You can do your challenge wherever you want. You have quite a bit of time, in my opinion, compared to like a regular hackathon. A month is much better. um and yeah, my advice is get started, but keep in mind that also there's quite a bit of time, and there's time to do something cool.
Should people submit even if they gave it a shot and their code's not working, or
Yeah.
they didn't completely finish?
Yes.
I agree, but
Submit.
I'm posing it to y'all.
Yeah, submit it. You never know. And in the worst case scenario, it just ends up and it's a submission on Code Exchange, right? And that's also bragging rights. You can put it on your CV. Hey, I have my submission in Code Exchange, and hopefully it's been accepted by Alexi. But
Yeah.
hopefully, that's not guaranteed. That's
You're
not
on the tight
guaranteed.
ship.
Yeah.
It
If it's code on basic, we cannot validate whether it's work or not. So Shannon
So
has a big
Shannon-
chance
Alexi
to
said
win.
C, right? If you want it to be accepted by Alexi, it has to be in C.
Yeah.
That's outside of the challenge, though. That's not part of this challenge. It doesn't have in C, this one, by the way.
Yeah.
We were joking. All right, folks. What else we have? We covered quite a bit. Any questions from folks? See snarky comments from Shannon here, which is cool. What else? Jeff, Daniel, LinkedIn users. Hello. All right. Anything else, folks, that we should cover here before we wrap up? I think
I just would encourage everybody to give it a shot. At least put some effort into thinking about if there's something that really sparks your interest. Don't just walk away being like, nah, I don't want to do this. Like just at least spend some time to put some thought into it and see if you could come up with something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think ever since I'm new to the DevNet team, but I follow and talk to DevNet community members, and frequently someone will share something they built and be like, "Oh, it's not that good yet," or "It's simple," and it's like, well, sometimes the best solutions are simple, and also the best solution is the one that someone actually created. So, to Denise and basically everyone else's point, just submit something.
And the whole point of the community, right, is you work on something, even if it's simple, it's going to help somebody else, and they take what you've done and add on top of it. That's the beauty of it, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
they can add extra features, they can improve it, they can make it better, and then you, as the original contributor, also take advantage of somebody else's work. You work on together on the same submission, on the same project at the end of the day. So that's, I think, to me, the beauty of having a community like this, where you can contribute and then make it better, help somebody, and then you get help back. um, Sometimes simple is overlooked but needed. Kaval, hi, hello, Kaval. Yes,
And I
keep it
think
simple.
if you're not sure that your idea is acceptable, for the challenge, or is good enough, just post your question on the WebEx space, and then we will try to answer. Maybe we can even give you some feedback to your idea and make it better. Who knows?
Yeah,
Mm,
everyone here is nice, so no one's gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
except when you get
Except the
judged
fact
at
that
the
we
end,
are
but,
judges, right?
Yeah, except us.
so
we're only judges in title.
yeah. um
Adrian.
I'm gonna wrap it up. We're gonna close it out on that note. Any last chance, any comments before we wrap it up? And then, like I said, if you have any other comments, WebEx space is there. But yes, we basically want you folks submit your code, right? It's a fun, nice challenge. You got a chance of winning some money, but bragging rights in my mind is first and foremost. um, Check at the end of the day, all that we've talked about, or most of the things we've talked about today on this stream, are on developer.cisco.com/build-for-better. So you'll see there the legal, the terms and conditions, right? The requirements, the judging criteria, what you need, the steps you need to go through, create a DevNet account, submit the code exchange, right? All of that is in there, plus a link to the WebEx space. If you have any other questions, like we were saying, join that space, ask in there. We're monitoring the space pretty much every day. We'll see if questions come up and we'll answer them. And good luck to everyone. We hope to see as many submissions as we can. We might, depending on how many we get, we might push the winning, the right, because we're finishing on 22nd of April. If we're done by May 1st, reviewing everything, deciding, then we're gonna announce on May 1st the winners. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, don't be shy. Contribute, submit your code, and who knows, you might win.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah, go get them.
All right, guys.
Cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Take care, and good luck on the challenge.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.